Today is my last day in Ireland. If you're probably watching this video, I guess you probably want to know why I left Ireland after 13 years and why I chose to move to Switzerland out of all of the countries that exist in the world, why I chose to Switzerland. So stay tuned to the end of the video and I will explain all the shocking reasons that made me to leave Ireland and move to Switzerland. One of the main reasons that I left Ireland to Switzerland was the location of Switzerland. So as you all know, Switzerland is a mountainous country. It's surrounded by mountains. So you can probably feel the mountain just at ease. It's just so lovely. Switzerland is a gateway to Europe. So it's bordered by France, by Austria, by Liechtenstein, by Germany and Italy. So it's easy to get to all of these countries just by train. You don't need to get a flight to go to all of these countries. And for people that know me, I love traveling. So that was one of the main reasons that made me to move to Switzerland instead of moving to any other country. Depending on where you are, it only takes 2 hours in the train to get to Milan. "40 minutes bike ride from Sargans, that's the border of Switzerland, to get to Vaduz, the capital city of Liechtenstein. And also, Liechtenstein is extremely expensive. I found one of my friends there as well. So yeah, Liechtenstein is extremely expensive for anyone thinking of moving or coming to this place. So as you can see, it doesn't take that long to move from one place to another when you're in Switzerland. It's just so easily accessible. All of these countries and these cities that I just mentioned is just easily accessible, and I'm planning to be traveling a lot in the next 5 years. Actually, I'm planning to be traveling to 100 countries as quick as possible. So 100 countries in the next 5 years as quick as possible. The next reason is Switzerland is a trilingual country. Yeah, there's 3 main languages in Switzerland. That's German, which is the main, French, and Italian. So these are the 3 main languages in Switzerland. And as I've always been saying, I've got a daughter and I want her to learn every single one of these languages. As many languages as possible, because she's going to learn these 3 languages and she's going to learn English, because we're only going to be speaking English at home in Switzerland. So she's going to grow up knowing 4 languages at once. So for anyone that have a family, for anyone that have kids, and for anyone that's willing to learn more languages, Switzerland is just the place to be, because you are forced to learn all of these languages. As for people that don't know, I can speak French as well. French is basically my first language. So I can speak French and I can speak English. So I came to Switzerland in order to learn all of those different languages. So I want to improve my German and my Italian, what I couldn't get in Ireland. As you all know, Ireland is only an English-speaking country. Gaelic is being spoken by just a minority proportion of people in Ireland, even though Gaelic is technically your main language, but most people don't speak Gaelic in Ireland, they speak only English. The third reason is the transportation system of Switzerland is A1. It's one of the best transportation systems you ever have. In Ireland, I was always late. When I was going to school, I was always late because the bus didn't show up most of the time. But in Switzerland, if it says the bus is going to be there in 5 minutes, the bus is there. Transportation in Switzerland is A1. So yeah, just look at the way the trains are. They're so lovely, nice and clean. You're in Switzerland, just make sure you get the train. They're always on time. Even up the mountains with the funicular, that's a special train that takes you up the mountain, because normal train can't take you there. So that's one thing I couldn't get in Ireland, because the transportation system is just really bad in Ireland. Most people have cars in Ireland because the transportation system, you can't actually rely on it. But in Switzerland, actually, I was planning to get a car but I don't think I'm going to get a car anymore because the transportation system is just A1. And the cars in Switzerland are actually cheaper than the cars in Ireland. That's something I couldn't believe it when I moved here. To buy a car in Switzerland is cheaper than getting a car in Ireland. But I'm not going to be driving in Switzerland, even though I've got my full license. And I was driving in Ireland, I had a car in Ireland. But in Switzerland, I'm not going to buy a car because I don't need it. Maybe in the future, but for the moment, no. The transportation system takes me every single way I want to go. I don't think I need a car at the moment. So the fourth reason is the weather. The weather of Switzerland is just so lovely. I live in a canton called Valais. This canton is blessed with sunlight. As you can see, it's 10 a.m. in the morning today and it's extremely warm. In Valais, you've got all of the season. You've got the summer, which is extremely warm like now. You can get the winter, which is extremely cold and snowy, and the two other seasons like the autumn and spring. So in Valais, you get it all. You get to experience the great Switzerland. So that's why I chose to come to this place. As you can see, it's so warm today, and it's still 10 a.m. in the morning. I can literally feel the mountains. It's just surrounded by natures and everything. I haven't seen snow in Ireland for the past 13 years. I believe that the maximum snow I've seen was probably like 1 or 2 inches. So yeah, I've never seen snow in Ireland that much. So Switzerland have everything. In the autumn, you can see the blooms of the flowers and stuff. And the fifth reason is the cost of living. Many people think Switzerland is actually the most expensive country in the world, but no, that's not true. That's not true. Inflation has been hitting Ireland so badly in the past couple of years. Presently, the rate of annual inflation in Ireland is at 7.2% compared to the rate of inflation in Switzerland, which is only 2.6%. The annual rate of inflation in Switzerland is only 2.6%. So imagine that. For people that always think Switzerland is really expensive, you get paid a lot in Switzerland compared to Ireland, and the rate of inflation in Switzerland is so low compared to Ireland. Actually, the rate of inflation in Switzerland have never gone above 3%. But at the moment, the rate of inflation in Ireland is at 7.6%. That's more than double the rate of inflation in Ireland. So imagine the minimum wage in Switzerland, even though Switzerland doesn't have a set minimum wage, but the minimum wage in Switzerland is 60,000 Swiss francs compared to the minimum wage in Ireland, which is from 20 to 21,000 euros. So imagine if someone is earning 60,000 in Switzerland and someone earning 21,000 in Ireland, and the person in Switzerland has just 2.6 inflation rate compared to the person in Ireland that's earning 20 to 21,000 euros every single year and is paying extra 7.6% due to inflation. So yeah, for anyone that thinks Switzerland is really expensive, that's a big no-no. It is expensive, yeah, but you get paid a lot and you get a lot of support from the government. You get a lot of support from your company, you get a lot of support anyways. So yeah, Switzerland isn't the most expensive country in the world as people think. So that's one of the main reasons I left Ireland and I moved to Switzerland, because I could get all of this stuff. And the sixth reason is the health system in Switzerland is just one of the best health system I've ever experienced in my life. Yeah, I had a skin issue before in Ireland. Went to see my GP and I was pushed on the waiting list for 6 months, and it's been 9 months now and I still haven't gotten an appointment yet. I've been on the waiting list for 9 months waiting to see a dermatologist, which I couldn't. But coming to Switzerland, because they have a private health system, you can always go to your doctors as many times as possible. It is pricey, yeah, but it's one of the best. You pay for what you get. So the health system in Switzerland is top notch. I don't think there's any country in this world that beats the health system in Switzerland. That's one of the main reasons actually that I moved to Switzerland as well, due to the health system in this country. Because I've got a daughter and I want her to have the best health that she can think of. And The next reason is the accommodation in Switzerland. Yeah, accommodation in Switzerland is nothing compared to the accommodation in Ireland. If you don't know, just check videos of accommodation in Ireland. Is getting so crazy in Ireland at the moment. There's no house, even for people that have the money to get the houses. You can't find a house in Ireland. But compared to Switzerland, I live in a mansion, a huge mansion, and guess how much I pay? 1,600. Also, Switzerland is so child friendly that in front of every single house there's a playground. And in front of most houses there's a bouncing castle, literally a bouncing castle. In front of every single house there's a playground in Switzerland. In front of every single house, most houses in Switzerland have playgrounds. It's so child friendly. So I'm so happy my daughter is gonna love this so much, because it's just too much for her. So yeah, that's one thing I couldn't get in Ireland. Another one of my main reasons why I moved to Switzerland instead of staying in Ireland is safety. Switzerland is one of the safest countries in the world. So Switzerland is the only country that I can actually stay in my house, leave all of my doors and my windows open overnight. I can't do that in different countries. I couldn't do that in Ireland, but Switzerland is the only country that I can do that. It's surrounded by mountains, so it's extremely safe. As you can see, there's a lot of nature, a lot of stuff around that you can do in Switzerland. And thanks a million for watching this video. I'll be doing a lot of traveling video from now on. So yeah, stay tuned, watch all of the videos and you will love it. I will be traveling a lot. I'm planning to do 100 countries in the next 5 years. So stay tuned and watch the video and you're going to love and appreciate the content that's coming up. So thank you and see you later. Ciao.